He's already, I was going to give the Bible.
Oh yeah, go ahead and read the biography. So you know, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
No problem, no problem at all.
I love your
Everybody get
ebullience
out
and enthusiasm. It's great.
He's already introduced him, but I'm going to share his bio with you. Born in Ohio, Eric, as he is known by his friends, has 4 siblings, very creative parents. His father was a painter, and his mother was an interior decorator. His first job at the Fairfield County Fair was at age 8. He started his first company at age 17. Eric served his country proudly in the United States Army for 8 years. He graduated with honors from the Ohio State University. Did I do that right?
Yes, ma'am.
The Ohio State University, and moved to Northern California, where he started 2 more companies in the Silicon Valley. After 17 years in California, Eric moved to Boston in 2008, where he fine-tuned his small business consulting practice. His focus is on employers that have less than 20 employees, showing them how they can protect their assets as well as their health. He is very busy now working as a licensed health agent, helping people unravel confusing and costly health insurance law, aka Obamacare. Eric mentors troubled teenagers as well as coaches other entrepreneurs. He loves the outdoors and walks 24 miles a week on Siesta Key Beach. He is known as the professor of perspective and enjoys sharing universal principles with those who are actively seeking enlightenment. A friend of Career Source, SunCoast, for 3 years now, Eric's insights and teachings are meant to wake people up to their potential. Please welcome Mr. James Eric Ross.
People ask me all the time, what is it that you do? And I say, I'm an alarm clock. And they go, okay, I'll bite. What do you mean? I say, I wake people up to their potential. Because everybody in this room has a giant within inside of them. They just don't know it. I enjoy, have a lot of friendships around the world, actually. And a lot of them are in the police force. And one of my friends is a cop. And he was telling me this story. And I love to hear these stories that he shares about seeing someone that was driving erratically, and he said, he pulled him over, and he goes up to the car, and where the heck did it go? There it is, I got it. It goes up to the car and says, excuse me, sir, what the heck is going on? Why do you have 20 penguins in the back seat of your car? You can't do that. You need to take these penguins to the zoo. And he goes, yes, sir, I'm sorry. So next day, he does the same thing. He's driving. He sees the same car and the same guy, commotion in the back. He goes up and he said, sir, what the heck? He goes, you still have the penguins in the car. Didn't I tell you to take them to the zoo? And he goes, I did. Today we're going to the movies. So Mission Impossible. This is, I don't know if you've heard, there's a Greek by the name of Sisyphus, and the story is that Sisyphus had to push this huge ball up this hill, and he never got it over the hump because right when he got it to the top, it would roll back. But you see something like this ant, which is pushing something that is, in some cases, 5, 10, 20 times its own weight. And understand that if that is a creature that is in our universe, then aren't you just as strong? I will persist until I succeed. This is something that is fun. I hope you enjoy it. Oh. that's amazing. The first time I saw that, there's two things I take away from that little video. Is someone has way too much time on their hands, first of all. The second thing is that, do you think that that squirrel did that on the very first try?
No.
Did you think that that squirrel had to look at all the different things that made up and comprised that contraption? If you remember playing Mousetrap as a kid, that's what that reminds me of. But you've got this means that that squirrel said, there's some really good things up there that I want to enjoy. How can I go about doing that? Today I want to talk to you about what that squirrel was thinking in its mindset and what its intent was. Its intent was to get the nuts at the very end. So how mental toughness benefits the job seeker is what we're going to talk about today. Again, my name is James Eric Ross, and I am very excited to be up here because I think what my job is something that chose me. I didn't choose it. And when I look in the mirror, that's what I see. Because I was born August 9th, so I'm Leo the Lion-Hearted. You're going to hear lion put into my discourse throughout that. But what do you see when you look in the mirror? And one thing that everybody should have is a full-length mirror. Should have a full-length mirror. Everyone should have one. And you should look in that mirror and you should talk to yourself, because guess what? You own yourself and you can't get away from yourself, so you better like yourself. I take that back. You better love yourself. And when you're able to look into a full-length mirror and say, I am a lion, that's something that's going to help as far as be the foundation and the basis of what you need to do and accomplish. Because one of my favorite books is The Road Less Traveled. And the very first sentence, and that is a sentence, is life is difficult. Get over it. Life is difficult means that there are going to be challenges in your life, and you have to say, okay, I'm not going to dwell on 1996 and 2000. Do you know anybody that lives in 1996, in the year 2000? I do. Nothing's going on in 1996 and 2000. It's gone. The past is dead and buried. I will think of it no more. All I have is right now. So what is it that you're doing as an unemployed American? Your full-time position is seeking out a job. So what are those things? What are the things that you do each day? Because we have choices in life, don't we? And the decisions that we make they make up who we are. So you can decide to do nothing. And I love music, and if you choose not to decide, you still made a choice, haven't you? The choice not to decide is a choice. My intention for today is I want to entertain, as you can see that. I want to enlighten, but I also want to guide. I want to give you bits and information that have helped me, and then be able to point in direction for you, but also have you be able to contact me in the event that you would like to learn more about what it is that we're doing or how you could engage with some of the things that we're doing. And my hope today is that this would be a catalyst, that this would be the launching point for change, that you would create a new perspective, that you would create furrows that would enable you to look at things different. Because Dr. Dyer taught me, when you change the way you look at something, the thing that you look at changes. And I'll give you an example. Traffic. Who in here loves traffic, by show of hands? Anybody? The way I changed my perspective on traffic and on rush hour and on individual cutting me off today or trying to run me over in the sidewalk today is I just say, okay, maybe they're in a rush, maybe their dog is dying in the back seat. I change my perspective about them not being adversaries when I'm driving. They're not my adversaries, they're my brothers, they're my sisters. So that is just one way that you can look at whatever it is that you're looking at. You have the power to change that perspective. We're also going to look at practicals for daily use and growth and give yourself a vision for an abundant future. And your future can be abundant, but you have to believe in that, don't you? You have to believe that you have inside of you that giant, that you are a creative genius, and that you were created to create. Mental toughness. In the Army, you learn how to be mentally tough. There are things that you say, this is what's going to happen, and this is what you're going to do today. Eric, when you wake up at 4:30 in the morning, I said, I can't do that. Guess what? You do it. You find a way to do it, and mental toughness is part of that, pushing through. It's the ability to work hard and respond resiliently to failure and adversity. The inner quality in you, again, that enables individuals to work hard and stick to their long-term passions and goals. Do you have passions in your life? I know you all do. We don't have time to sit down and just dissect what your passion is. But you all have passion. Some of you don't know what that passion is because there's too much other stuff going on. You need to quiet the mind, and by quieting the mind, you're able to see what it is that the subconscious mind already knows. 3 things I think are truly important with mental toughness is you have to have grit. Grit to me is, there's a movie, John Wayne, True Grit. That guy, I mean, what an incredible movie. I think it was reprised recently, like 4 years ago. They did a True Grit with one of the, it was not Baldwin.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, love that guy. So relentlessness means that you're going to do whatever it takes, and you have to decide, you have to make the decision that I'm going to do whatever it takes to fulfill my life, to get that job that I want, to do whatever, but it is up to you. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. I remember learning that as a little kid, but that's something that I can learn from little kids. I do learn from little children every day. Tenacity. Tenacity is what that squirrel demonstrated, because all the things that squirrel went through in order to get to the end, and how many hours or days did it take for him to do that, and we just saw the final result. And you've heard it be, well, you know, Elon Musk, wow, that guy's an overnight success. If you don't know who Elon Musk is, I would look him up. He started a company called Tesla, and he's doing space projects. He was the founder of PayPal. People look at him and say, well, he's an overnight success. No, he wasn't. That guy worked his butt off for years and years and years. He was in Silicon Valley the same time that I was. He took a different path, and he's much more known than I am, but I love that guy to death because he is tenacious, because he is relentless. And that squirrel, again, practice makes not perfect. Last time I heard anybody that was perfect here was about 2,000 years ago. Looking forward to seeing them again. Nobody's perfect. Practice makes permanent. What are you doing to get better? What are you practicing on today? I know a lot of people would rather, when you hear someone at a funeral giving a eulogy, the person giving the eulogy would rather be in the casket than giving the speech. I think fear of public speaking, or the fear of being in front of someone, and the #1 reason why people are afraid is because they're fearful of what it is that you're thinking of me. FYI, by the way, what you think of me is none of my business. What anybody thinks of you is none of your business, because they're going to think it. And that doesn't have any impact, shouldn't have any impact on what it is that you're doing. My dad, who, God love him, he passed away about 3 years ago. He told me every day, stick and stay, son, it's bound to pay. And that's something that my father was one of the best salespeople I've ever met in my life. And that guy could literally sell ketchup popsicles to white-gloved women in August. I'm serious. They would stand in line to buy it from him. But he taught me that, and sticking and staying is all about persistence, relentlessness, and tenacity. How do we acquire mental toughness? How do you get it? Is it something that you can go down to the store? Can you download it? Is it an app? It's not. Mental toughness is starting with a belief and a desire. So what are your beliefs? What are your worldviews about anything? Because we all have worldviews, don't we? And it's interesting when I run into somebody and they say something about, which I never talk about, they say something about the political race, or they say something about our present administration in the White House, and one person will say something and it doesn't affect the one person at all. And one person will say the exact same thing to someone else and they want to like gouge your eyeballs out. That's because of a belief, isn't it? It's a belief not only in themselves, but a belief about what it is that we're doing here and what their purpose in life is. So when you match a belief with a desire and then you plug intention into that, the power of intention cannot be understated. When I came here this morning, when I was asked to do this months ago, I've been preparing for this because my intention is to make sure that the information that I've gleaned or that I've learned over the past 30 years of my life, because I am a seeker of knowledge, I am a seeker of wisdom, I don't freely give that away, I give that to people, that I go where I'm deserved, because I'm needed everywhere. You go where you're deserved, not where you're needed, because the power of intention leads to action. And I did something on my 40th birthday, and I'm going to do it again on my 50th birthday, is I'm going to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. And the one thing I could not do when I took that first step out of that airplane was what? When I took that step out, my destiny was sealed, wasn't it? The chute was going to open or it wasn't going to open. I had faith, I had belief, I had desire that I was going to hit the ground. My intention was that I was going to hit the ground. I took action. I jumped out of that airplane. The chute did open. I could not go back. That's the whole thing about what it is that you want in your life. You have the ability to say to yourself, for too long I've suffered the bruises of failure and the wounds of mediocrity. Today I'm born anew. And my birthplace is a vineyard where there is fruit for all. Bruises of mediocrity, wounds of failure. We all have them, don't we? But do you meditate on them? Do you pull them back out? Do you wash them and blow dry them and caress them? I know people that do that. They bring them up all the time. I don't hang around those people. I don't. Solid as a rock. What that means to me is, what is it that you're building upon? Are you building upon sand, or are you building upon a solid foundation? That solid foundation is all about your intent, your intention. Is it, for me, I am not someone that is going out and trying to gain the world. I don't want to be a billionaire. I want to be comfortable. I want to help people. And because of that is my intention, it's incredible what happens because of that. And people notice that, don't they? Can you fake someone that's genuinely caring? Can you fake that? No. Have you ever seen the pictures, and if you haven't done this, do it, is go Google fake smile versus real smile. And there's a way to determine that, and it's right here in the eyes. Because Augmendino said that it will unfurrow my brow, bring a sparkle to my eyes. When you smile, and it's just a smile, this is a fake smile, and when your eyes aren't, and then the real smile is like really, you can see it in the face. But people go through life faking a lot of different things, and to me, I'm someone that's called an empath. An empath is someone that has the ability to read other people's energy, read other people's intent. And that's a gift, and I'm grateful to have it. Not a lot of people have it. A lot of people don't even know what I'm talking about, but that's okay. Empathic sense is where the word empathy comes from. Sympathy is someone where I can't really understand what they're going through,